Are you good to go, Mitzi?
Good to
Okay.
go.
All right. Well, I'm Dot Behrens. I'm an independent certified Optavia coach, still a mouthful. I've been a coach for a couple years, and I chose the topic of non-scale victories and kind of what I wanted to do with that, because you've heard a lot about the non-scale victories. But I wanted to be able to kind of tie that into mindset. I love element 4, mindset. And so I thought I would kind of go through my story, and then what a non-scale victory is, let Katie tell her story, and then kind of how we can tie that together. And hopefully we'll have time at the end for maybe other people to share their non-scale victories if we don't touch upon them along the way. And I try to talk a couple other people that I coach into maybe sharing theirs, but everybody's a little shy. So I kind of wrote down a couple of theirs too. So it's always nice to hear a different variety. So I kind of looked up what the definition of non-scale victory is. I think we feel like we know what it is, but it was kind of interesting. It talks about celebrating things that help you reach your health goals that have nothing to do with your actual weight. The non-scale victories are what your hard work is really about, and that the numbers on the scale are an added bonus. So need to focus on the non-scale victories, and the pounds will take care of themselves, is how it was said. So I guess maybe instead of looking at the scales so much, we look at the non-scale victories. So kind of my story. Some of you have probably heard it before. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have for 25 years, and I have struggled to find the right program, the right way to help my patients, in your little 15, 20, 30-minute time frame. And, I've done a lot of research over the 25 years on what the healthy eating, healthy lifestyles are for myself and for my patients. And I just could never find the right combination. I was tired of writing weight loss medications, because probably if people have done that in the past, you know that it only works for a little bit, but if you don't change how you eat, when you get off the medication, you gain the weight back. And then usually I was seeing my patients gain more weight back than what they even started with. So that was kind of difficult for them and me. And so then I met Jennifer about 2.5 years ago at a nurse practitioner conference. And I was still kind of skeptical about the program. So I went on it myself, to see if I was going to share it with my patients or not. And I fell in love with it. I learned the right combination with the lean and green meal, the healthy fats. And I thought I knew a lot, because I've been a nurse for, well, at that time, about 41 years. But I found out I really didn't know the right combinations to get people to a healthy weight. And so the lean and green, Dr. Anderson's lean and green combination with the healthy fats, it's so important. And the right combination of the condiments and everything is huge. So my non-scale victories were, and then at that time, I started the program about 2.5 years ago, and I did lose 10 to 15 pounds in the program. And then I've kept it off in the 2.5 years that I have done this. And then my non-scale victories were that I went down a clothing size, do the weight loss, but then also with the loss of inches over the gut and the butt, because, that's kind of where it all settles in a lot. So that was huge. And then I have increased energy in the morning with everybody in the program. I think probably 99 to 100% of people would say definitely increased energy is what keeps them going. Because if you eat healthy, you have the increased energy, especially in the morning. In fact, I even considered myself a night person. I would not be a morning person ever. But then since I had the increased energy and I got more into the life book and started studying Dr. Anderson, he said, you got to get up the same time every morning, regardless of what time you go to bed at night. But then I did develop better habits where I was getting up consistently in the morning, I was getting my exercise in, and then I was sleeping better at night. So that was a huge victory for me. And then obviously I've developed a healthier mindset with the Optavia community. I mean, you just can't not develop a healthy mindset with the wonderful community that we've got and the support. So then I did start to pay it forward then as a coach, and it's been awesome. So I kind of want to let Katie tell her story then. Katie started out as a client of mine, but now she is also a coach, and she just has a wonderful story.
Thanks, Dot. You did a good job there too. I met Dot a few years ago. I've been a nurse at a local rural health clinic at the same place that Dot has worked. I was a nurse for about 7 years, and then I went back to be an NP as well. I've trained under Dot. I think a lot of her. She's very inspirational, very motivated. But she approached me back in April around a time that I think everybody probably across the US was struggling. The whole COVID pandemic was really high. I really didn't feel good about myself, my body. I'd actually in March got some labs done because my husband, he made a few comments. Hey, Kate, you're walking around kind of like an old lady. What's the matter? What's hurting? Or just feeling extra tired. I was taking migraine pills about 3 times a week, trying to figure out, okay, now what new combination do I need to get on for, prevention of migraines because it was happening too often. But anyways, Dot had approached me at the end of April and we had talked about the program, and I thought to myself, you know what, I really just need to do this. Like, my labs were fine. The only thing that came back on my chart was honestly just medical obesity. And I didn't like to see that. My body mass index was at like 32. So I knew it was time for a change. So I said yes. And I remember that same week that I said yes, this is going to go, I'm going to refer back to this story for my non-scale victory. But that very same week that I said yes, I was getting our camper ready to go camping. We bought a camper last summer because we have 3 young kids. They're 8, 5, and 3, and we just like to do that on the weekends. And I was climbing up the ladder inside the camper to get up to the top bunk, and I got stuck, like completely stuck. My one leg was up, the other leg was on, one leg was up on the bed, the other leg was on the ladder. And I just started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Like, I can't even get up here to make my kid's bed. So I remember just sitting there, in that position crying, and I got back down, and the next day I even had a bruising location on my thigh. And I thought to myself, wow, like I need something better. So I was happy that I signed up. I started actually May 15th. So I've been on the program for 17 weeks now. Within the first 2 weeks of being on the program, I remember coming back from a camping trip, and I saw Dot in the hallway at our practice, and I said, hey, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what? And I said, I just climbed up the ladder and I slept with my son and I snuggled him all night long, and it felt amazing. And she's like, are you serious? And that was only after doing the program for 2 weeks. And just that in itself, I just couldn't believe that already in 2 weeks, I felt so much better, that I had that much strength already that I could climb up that ladder and just snuggle with him. So that was a huge deal to me. And then also too, as the program, continued on, I had family members that, noticed my success, and they actually asked me if I'd be their coach. And so I signed up to coach, and that has been wonderful. I've been able to, help friends, help family. My mom and my sister have joined. I'm now down 32 pounds. My goal is 35. So I'm only a few pounds away. But my husband's been very supportive. He's actually started, asking for some bars here and there for work, and says the shakes are good. He's not completely on the program, but he's been supportive. A couple other kind of non-scale victories is my energy. I mean, there's been times that we get the kids to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, and we are just zonked and ready for bed. But there's multiple times now that I'm like, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to do this and that and this. And one time I was even outside shooting baskets. My husband was the last one out of the rooms with the kids, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just have all this energy. I just want to be out here shooting baskets. So that was nice too. Other kind of things too, like I have always been someone that my blood sugar drops instantly when I'm hungry. And you can tell that. I get agitated, I get angry. The word hangry is what my husband had always said. And ever since starting the program, like, I don't have hypoglycemic events anymore. My migraines are gone. I don't have joint pain. I actually had an eye exam a few weeks ago, and my eye doctor was like, what have you been doing? Because your eyes are better than they've ever been. He's like, in the past 10 years, you've always been a -4, and you're like a -3.5 right now. So that was really nice to hear him say, what have you been doing? The only reason a 35-year-old would probably better their eyesight is if they'd done a really big lifestyle change. And I was like, well, yeah, I have. Do you want to hear about it? So then we kind of started talking, but anyways, just other kind of non-scale victories too. Like my psoriasis is better. I feel like I can run faster than I've ever ran before, 35 pounds off almost. I don't wear Spanx anymore when I run. That was a big thing I told Dot. Like I used to always wear Spanx to hold everything in. And like 2 months into the program, I was like running and I'm like, oh, I forgot my Spanx. Like, wow, I don't have to wear them. So that's pretty neat. Same with clothes too. I feel like a lot of times I'll wear jean shorts that like, you know, want to cover the back of my legs. They're basically all the way down to my knees. And now I feel like I feel comfortable in like a mid-thigh jean. So that's cool. There's a lot of really neat things. I think that's it. I wrote a few things down. I just want to make sure I touched everything.
Your recent 5K.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My mom. So my mom's on the program. She's lost about 22 pounds. I'm so proud of her. She did a walk for the first time, a 5K, and I did the run, and it was just so awesome. She was out there with her sister. I was out there with my sister and my husband, my brother-in-law, my friend, and it was just really nice and motivating and just all finish and just exciting that we all had a common goal too. Like we just want everyone to feel better. We kind of shared some things about the program that day. We did it for a good cause for the local police officers and the Special Olympics in our town. So that was really nice. But anyways, it's just amazing how the last few months have changed my life. Like I never had heard about this program at all. Like I can't believe I haven't heard about this program. And so I'm so happy Dot introduced it to me. I feel really passionate about it. I've been able to coach and help people. And just yesterday, we signed up my sister to coach. So I'm excited that she is coaching, and I think we're going to bring a lot to our community. And I guess I just wanted to end with saying thank you to our Healthy Friends community. You guys are awesome. You inspire me. You inspire a lot of people. When I bring people on as a coach, like I always refer to the Healthy Community, the Healthy Friends page, and I say, you got to check it out. There's so many inspirational people on there. So everybody keep up the great word, keep spreading the word. And thanks for everything.
Thanks so much, Katie. Awesome story. You make me cry every time you tell me. So I just wanted to share just a couple other things that I wrote down from, there's one lady who I tried to get her to talk, but she said no, but she would listen. She has lost 45 pounds and so far, she's not at goal yet, but she can do more strenuous activity. She lives in her pool. She has a pool in the summertime. And so she is out there like 2 or 3 hours a day when it's nice out. And for her exercise, she'll walk backwards and forwards and get the waves going. So she's walking against it, and she couldn't do that before. And before COVID, she was going in for an epidural for her back, and then COVID kind of shut the pain clinic down. Well, then she went on the Optavia program and lost her weight. So then when they finally opened back up and they called her and said, hey, we can set you up for your epidural, she said, well, I don't need it anymore, because her back pain had improved that much. And she was having a lot of hip pain, and she doesn't have hip pain now, and she was having shortness of breath. She's come off of 2 or 3 of her diabetic medication. She's come off of her blood pressure medication. And she said she used to eat Tums every day. She said since she started the program, she's not ate 1 Tum. And she used to have to take a nap in the afternoon, but now she doesn't have to. And she had to buy new swimsuits for her to be in the pool this summer too, which was great. I think she went down 2 sizes on the swimsuit. And then something else that's not been mentioned, I had another client who she's actually lost 24 pounds and she's at her goal weight, and she's transitioning now and doing an awesome job with that. But a big thing for her is she could wear her wedding rings, and definitely more energy, and her feet did not hurt now because she wanted to start walking again. Then I had another person, she's down 28 pounds, still working on it, but she wanted to have more energy to hike, and she's been able to hike now, and she's sleeping good and more energy. And then I have another lady who she's down 21 pounds and in 6 weeks, and she adopted a couple. She's in the process of adopting a couple of her nephews, and she wanted to learn how to cook healthier for them. And so she's excited that she is learning how to cook healthier for them, and that she said, I didn't know I could feel this good. So that was kind of exciting to help her too. And then I had another client, she's down 38 pounds so far, and she said that her daughter come up and gave her a hug the other day and said, Mom, you're so much easier to hug now. So I thought that was kind of sweet. And I think I have seen that before. Somebody posted that on Friends. So I wanted to take us into then was element 4 in your life book. And I know summertime's busy, but I hope now that summertime's over with that people can kind of get into their life book. And I know they say when you get it, you should write your name in it, and you should try and at least do 1 or 2 pages every night if possible. But I have some people who really, once they delve into it, they really, really like it and really enjoy it. So I think that the non-scale victories can really tie into the mindset, and that in the on the element 4, I was just going to use Dr. Anderson's words because he is such an eloquent speaker and writer. It's in your life book focuses on who is in charge of your life. Dr. Anderson's goal for you is to become the dominant force in your life. There is discussion of the empowerment triangle instead of being caught in the drama triangle. And you're empowered to take control of your life. You are in charge. And so on page 114 of the life book goes over the stop, challenge, choose, which you have probably heard a lot about that, but I didn't know if some of you had thought about tying this to your non-scale victories, because I thought I would kind of walk through an example, because then obviously the first thing is stop. That's kind of your cue. My weakness is cookies, so I can't have cookies in my house, and people always want to bring cookies to work or donuts to work. So it would be an example of a cookie being there on the table, and it's like, you know, your mind and body is kind of linked together, and it says, okay, I'm supposed to think about this. I'm supposed to stop and think about it before I just automatically grab that cookie and stick it in my mouth. So then what you're supposed to challenge yourself by being good at stopping yourself and putting yourself in the position to figure out how you're going to respond to this cue. And that's where you should pull up your non-scale victories. Such as what I would think about: if I eat this cookie or donut, I'm going to be tired after lunch. And then, or if you eat the cookie at night, Dr. Anderson kind of talks about the insomnia cookie. If you eat cookies or processed foods at night, you're not going to sleep very well. He talked about that at one of the conventions I was at. I thought that was interesting. And then, you know, that your pants will feel better if you don't eat the cookie or 2 cookies, or maybe it's a trigger food, you know, maybe you can't stop with just one. And then, and definitely you want to keep up your energy level then if you choose not to eat the cookie, hopefully. And then the third part is to choose, and this is your reward, the action that turns a potential negative action into a positive choice. And this will give you a sense of accomplishment and empowerment over your emotions and body. So I know I always like to point out, and myself too, how good you feel if you do walk by that cookie or that donut or the pizza. Then you kind of feel really good about yourself. And then it should get easier and easier and easier, because you know how good you're going to feel about yourself when you turn stuff down that you know is not a good thing for your health. So I think that's what the stop, challenge, choose. But I hope people will go to the life book. And then something else before, I wanted to see if there was somebody else that wanted to share their victories, their non-scale victories, is I want to make sure that people know about, you can watch videos, the video series about the life book, the elements, and you can find that on answers.optavia.com. And then it brings up stuff that you can do as a client, but you almost have to type in at the top, it says search, and if you type in video series, it'll pop up all the elements. And they're all 30 minutes long. And so if you don't have time to work in your life book, I always encourage people to listen to them. Like I listen to them when I'm getting ready in the morning, if you've got a long commute, and they're just very well put together. And the other thing is the YouTube Habits of Health. That's another place to find all the elements. I subscribe to it or whatever, so that when they do the Wednesday night calls, like the one that's following here, it'll pop up when it's recorded and available. So if you're not available on a Wednesday night to listen to the community call, you can always listen to it as a recording. So those are just 2 good references, I think. So I don't know if someone else, it looks like we have about 5 minutes, maybe, Mitzi, that is there more non-scale victories that anybody wants to share, because I find they're so exciting.
I definitely will. I was talking to Jen earlier. I have fibromyalgia. I've had it for 20, 25 years. And there wasn't a day that I wasn't hurting somewhere, and significantly hurting most days, and frequent headaches. And about a week into the program, I noticed a really substantial decrease in pain. And then over the course of the months, I don't have that kind of pain anymore. And the level of inflammation is like, I used to have hot spots, literally feverish spots in my back. Those are gone. I've had 3 headaches since I went on program in January, versus having them daily, sometimes or at least weekly or several times a week. My husband has come off of his blood pressure medicine, which was a catalyst. Him going on the blood pressure medicine was kind of the wake up call for us that, okay, this is starting to follow a path that we really don't want to go down. I've had clients to tell me, one client told me that she's always swollen when she would travel, and now she doesn't swell like that. Her legs aren't swelling in the car, and just Steve and I have had a Jeep that's been literally in storage for, I think, 4 or 5 years. And recently we got it back out and running and going camping and doing the things that we've loved to do, but just haven't felt enough energy to do in more recent years. So it's just the adding life to our lives. And I'm just blown away by that aspect of it.
That sounds awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yes, inflammation. There's a whole section on inflammation, and it's very thorough and very, very good. I couldn't say which element it is, but there is more, about 3/4 of the way through the life book, I believe. Was there anyone else that wanted to share?
Me. Hello, ladies.
Lucy, okay.
I'm off one of my blood pressure medicines, and I'm off my diabetes medication, and I've got one more to go, and I'm off of all prescription medications.
Wow.
Those were my biggest reasons that I started this program for that. And then this past weekend, I was out in my yard for 5 hours, and I obviously I got tired, but it wasn't where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. It was just, I was working in the yard, and I worked out, and I got all sore muscles now. So, and I feel stronger, and I just keep pushing through now. Now there's no problem. I love it.
Sounds awesome. Thanks. Well, I've got 7:27, so I think I'm anxious, or I'm looking forward to hearing about our community Zoom tonight. It's about how to navigate dining out and continue to eating healthy for life with Vonda and Ian Livingston, and it's a different Zoom room, but that starts at 8:30 Eastern time, 7:30 Central time. And then if you're not getting the weekly reminders before about these community Zooms, all you have to do is text Optavia 30 to 990-00, and it automatically pops up on your phone, and then it just makes it easy to connect to the Zoom room. So, all right, well, thank you everyone for being with us tonight, and hopefully you learned something. Thank you, Katie, for your awesome story again. That makes me cry every time. So anything else, Mitzi?
No, I think we're good. I was trying to unmute everybody, but anyway, you can unmute yourself so you can say goodbye, and I'll pick up my dog.
Great job, Katie. I love you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you,
Bye.
Dawn. Thank
You
you.
guys are great.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good job, Doc.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
And you said
Thank you.
bye.
You did.
Hi, Angie.
Bye, Pam.
Bye, Auntie.
Say hi.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, Nana.
Thank you. Well done.
All right, Jeannie, get your tree up.
Hey, I rode my bike 5.5 miles tonight while I'm talking to y'all.